Hey guys, Deju22 here, and welcome to Heat. This show is brought to you by MuchGames.ca, and this first match is going to be interesting, to say the very least, because we have the great Betty White going up against the daughter of Mr. McMahon, Stephanie McMahon. And this one is a first-time matchup, so with that in mind, let's begin. Alright, we're off. And a snapmare on to Betty White to begin the matchup. And, you know, this is a first-time matchup. I never would have expected the daughter of Mr. McMahon to go up against the great Betty White. But you know, don't sell Betty White short. I mean, she may be old, but she knows what she's doing in the ring. Although right now, Stephanie McMahon is taking it right to Betty White. And if you are Stephanie McMahon, you want to take it to Betty White and try to end this one. Because the longer this match lasts, as Betty White just got thrown by her hair, and another snapmare takedown, the longer this match goes, the more Betty White has for her, going for her, in the sense that, you know, if Stephanie is not able to put away Betty White will slowly but surely get back in this match. I mean, she's been in this, you know, she's been in the matches for so long that she knows what she's doing. She's been in the ring for as long as I can remember. I mean, she first debuted back in 1971. Of course, she wasn't nearly as old as she is now, but, you know, that was just the start of her career. And the fact that she's still going strong is a testament to how good in shape she really is. Especially at 92 years old. See what I mean? I mean, she was able to pick up a woman her size, and probably a little bit heavier, considering that, well, Stephanie McMahon is young, and you wouldn't expect her to have, and by her I mean Betty White, you would not expect Betty White to still be able to do half the moves that she was able to do when she first debuted. And now she just delivered a kick and a punch right to the left arm of Stephanie McMahon. Oh, and then a facebuster right to Betty White, but that's nothing new. Oh, but a rope break for Betty White. And then a snapmare to Stephanie McMahon. Turnabout is fair play. And oh, come on, ref, she's pulling her by the hair. I mean, not that... I mean, come on. She's 92 years old. Come on. Oh, and then a kick right to the back. That's definitely not going to help solve her back problems. That's for sure. I mean, you kick her in the back anymore and she'll end up in a wheelchair. And then an arm drag onto Betty White. One. No, kick out by Betty White. So yeah, for all you fans that really hate Stephanie McMahon or love Betty White, I hope you enjoy this one. I really do. Ooh, nice spinning kick, or however it's called. It's a roundhouse kick. I'm sorry. And a snapmare, or a side headlock takedown. I'm sorry, I got my takedowns confused, but I think, yep, Betty White is pissed. And Stephanie McMahon did not get the job done when she had the chance, and now it looks as if Betty White is going to make her pay for it. One, no, kick out by Stephanie McMahon. Wait a minute, what's she doing? Ooh, nice, oh, it's called the Styles Clash, I'm sorry. The director just reminded me what the name of the move was. 1. No. Kick out by Stephanie McMahon. I guess it wasn't quite enough. Although Stephanie exits the ring for what reason, I don't know. Although it could be a trap. Oh, and she just got taken down. Landing back first onto the floor. Now both women are on the floor. Whipped into the barricade. Oh, and rammed into the steps was Stephanie McMahon. Now picks up Stephanie McMahon and throws her back into the ring. And Betty White and Stephanie McMahon are back inside the ring. Thrown over the top rope is Betty White, and oh, and a chop right across the throat of Betty White. But bear in mind, folks, it's anything that's happened to her, anything that, you know, or most anything that Stephanie McMahon is doing. Uh-oh, wait a minute! The whiteout! The whiteout onto Stephanie McMahon on the floor. I was just so shocked I couldn't get the words out, but a whiteout on the floor onto Stephanie McMahon. And now all Betty White has to do is get back in the ring and pin Stephanie, but Stephanie got up though. I mean, Betty White just took a little bit too much time, and that allowed Stephanie McMahon to recover, but I would have to think her head hurts right now. And a flying forearm. And whoa, wow, she just stepped all over Stephanie McMahon's bosoms, just to put it lightly. Thrown over the top rope again. On another chop right to the throat again. And now both women are once again on the floor. I had something in my nose. Oh, and rammed into the steps was Betty White. I mean, bear in mind, folks, Betty White is a really tough old bird. By her own admission, mind you. And then a headbutt right to Stephanie McMahon. And Betty White is back in the ring. And Betty White exits the ring. Uh-oh, Betty White, I think she's getting really desperate now. I guess she realizes that Stephanie has become more than a match for her. But thrown back in the ring is Stephanie McMahon. Oh, and rammed into the steps again and tripped onto the floor is Betty White. And a nice snapmare takedown onto Stephanie McMahon. And unfortunately, the action just can't stay in the ring long enough. And what the heck is Betty White doing? Well, she's back in the ring. And tripped onto the steps again is Betty White. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that Stephanie would be trying to end the career of Betty White. And now what's Stephanie doing? On a spear right through the barricade onto Betty White. And it looks as if Stephanie's going to get back in the ring. And I would have to think that for the second match in a row, if Betty White doesn't get up here, 8, 9, 10. And that is it. Stephanie McMahon has won by a countout. And I have to say that Stephanie might have broken Betty White's back. I don't know how badly injured Betty White is, but I have to think that it would be wise on her part to get to a chiropractor, because right now her back is hurt, and she just needs some medical attention. I mean, she's okay, but she might need to check her back. That's all she needs. So anyways, stay tuned for more matches. They are coming up right after this.